Hey, it's Adele from Let's Get Inkie, and today we are working with these cute little photos of Archie. So these photos I printed on my Canon selfie using the Project Life app, and this is a video that I have been promising for literally years, and it will come. It's in the works, peeps. I filmed it once and then I waited too long to upload it, and I have had to refilm it again. But usually I cut apart my photos when I print them like this for my traveler's notebook. And today I decided to keep them together as a clump, and I haven't done that before. So these are all photos of Arch taken at Book Week. And so his childcare Celebrate Book Week. Is that a global thing or is it an Australian thing? I don't know, but we do Book Week, and most schools have like a special day where you can dress up as a book character, and there's often a book fair. But because Archie's just at childcare, he's not at school yet, obviously. They have Book Week celebrations, but they're allowed to dress up every single day for a whole week instead of just one day, which is cute. But it's also tricky to come up with 5 or 4 outfits because he goes 4 days a week. And so I asked Arch what his favourite book was, and he found this book that he absolutely loves. At this point, I think we were reading it at least 2 or 3 times a day. And it's a dinosaur ABC book, and it has realistic looking pictures, and it's a board book, which is really handy because he can read through it himself and not damage the book too much. But he really wanted to dress up as a dinosaur, and we had no dinosaur clothes. So at this point, Arch was probably maybe just 2, I think. And he was not a fan of costumes. He hated wearing like outfits. He wouldn't play dress ups. He would like to wear hats. He likes dress up hats, but not a full outfit. So I knew that Book Week was going to be a little bit difficult because we didn't actually have many full costumes, and I didn't want to buy ones that he was going to be uncomfortable in and not want to wear. And also I didn't want to fork out a whole lot of money because at daycare, boy oh boy, he comes home covered in mud. I send him wearing grey clothes and he comes home wearing brown clothes because there's just dirt and mud everywhere, which is part of the fun of being a kid. But I definitely didn't want to fork out for expensive costumes to have them ruined in one day. So we compromised and we used some bits and pieces from home. So that first outfit we did buy. It's just a dinosaur tail. And that wasn't actually his proper outfit. I forgot to take a photo of it. But he wore a dinosaur tail that I picked up cheap from Kmart, and a dinosaur t-shirt, and he had dinosaur shorts and a dinosaur jacket because he had all of that stuff. And he took his book to school and he absolutely loved his swishy tail. And then the second picture, he really likes Avengers, influenced by some of his family members and uncles. And he had this little Avenger pop-up book, and Hulk has forever been his favourite character. So we bought a Hulk chest for $2, and he wore it for about 5 minutes. And then the third book is his all-time favourite, along with that Dino ABC. It's a book called A Little Paper Caper, and it's such a sweet story. It's by Oliver Jeffers, who is by far my favourite children's illustrator, along with Graeme Base. They're my 2 favourites. But if you have small kids, any books by Oliver Jeffers are just beautiful. And this has long been a favourite of Archie's. It's about a little bear who wears a beanie, and he chops down too many trees trying to make paper aeroplanes. So that was an easy outfit. We only needed a beanie and to make a paper aeroplane, and he wore all grey. And then the last book is also by Oliver Jeffers, and it's called Stuck. And if you've watched our Mr. and Mrs. Rad family vlogs, you'll know that that's one of Archie's old childhood faves. And in it, there's a fire truck, so he went dressed as a fireman. So that was fun. But I knew when I had these photos that I wanted to use that Chamel collection. I think it's called Field Trip, and it was just perfect. It had all of these dinosaur elements, and it had this big green dinosaur that was exactly like the tail in the first photo. So I put a series of the larger embellishments on the right hand side, and then I just had to use that top label with the books in it because of course it's book week, and unfortunately I don't get a chance to read as much as I used to. I can't actually tell you the last time I read a book. It was actually, I remember it was last year. I read one book all year long. It was the Amy Tangerine Craft a Life You Love, and I only was able to read that because I had so many appointments to go to and lots of waiting rooms. But usually I don't get to read as often as I used to, so I knew I had to jump on using that book label while I had an opportunity to talk about books. I used to be such a bookworm. I used to read several books a week when I was in my teenage years and early 20s, but unfortunately I know I have time. I need to make time. I feel like I don't have time, but there is time. You've just got to rearrange things a little bit. So then I added 2 different colours of the Tombow Dual brush markers for my title, and I'm outlining that with my Pilot G207 as always, obviously super sped up because no one can outline this fast. And I wanted to add a little bit of journaling. Gosh, he's grown up so much since these photos. So I started off in this top section with the label, and I talked about, I asked him to pick a book first because I had a feeling he would pick either Stuck or the Dinosaur ABC, and so it wasn't a surprise when he picked that one. But I wanted to give him a bit of input on book week and what he was dressing up as well. I felt like this top bit needed something. There were lots of words going on, but it needed something else to it. So I grabbed a couple of stars out of a Maggie Holmes American Crafts sticker book that I've got, and that was really handy. And I do in the end also add some hand-drawn stars as well, because I just felt like it needed something else, and sometimes I get a bit too word heavy because I do love tiny words, and you peeps know that by now. And sometimes I can do all of the words and not enough other things. So I have to rein it in sometimes and use other icons as well. I've grabbed some number stickers. These are an alpha from Citrus Twist, and I'm just labeling the photos 1, 2, 3, 4 because yes, I know what the books are now, but I wanted to make sure that I wrote down what they are as well, just in case Archie ever wonders what they were, or we lose the books, or we forget, and just so that we've got that captured. So I'm just printing those down here as well. And then I still had a little bit of space, and I felt like I used the red Tombow brush pen to do a little title there, Archie's Fave Books, I think it was. And so that section was separate to this journaling, I did that red dash line, and I think that really helped kind of section that bit off so that it didn't get lost in everything else. Then I totally stuffed up that star. It's got a wonky side, and it does drive me a bit batty. So I do fix that up in a moment because, yeah, it was just too wonky for my liking. And then I added a few more over here, just sticking with the blue and red theme that seems to be throughout these photos. This is a very colourful layout because there is a lot of bright colours going on. You've got the red, the green, the yellow, the blue. It's a very, I would say, typical child photo spread, just because of all of the bright colours that we do often associate with kids' photos and kids' embellishments. So here is this page all done. I think there's one more Journal With Me video during the Inkie June Marathon later this week. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you tomorrow on Inkie Quill. Bye.